Traveling really makes you want to drink, don't it? For more Brewsday Tuesday from the road, here's DreZ.
It's true. I'm trying not to cut myself. I was trying to get it in frame, but that's just too dangerous. It is Brewsday Tuesday, brought to you by the Cellar Restaurant and Six Pack Store in downtown Blacksburg. We are drinking my bottle cap beers and kind of recapping, going down memory lane. And in my hand is the Two Roads bottle cap, which was the very first bottle cap that we need to grab. So I know we went to a bunch of different states on this trip, but a lot of the states we had been to before and I already had bottle caps for. However, Two Roads, I got Rocket to Ruin, the Imperial Cloud IPA. This was the very first brewery, if I'm not mistaken, that we needed to get a bottle cap for, I guess I should say state. And this is in Stratford, Connecticut. So I think Connecticut was the first state that we got.
We had never been to Connecticut before.
Neither of us had been to Connecticut. Oh, that's the other thing. A lot of these states, most of them I would say you've been to, that we've been to on this trip, but a number of them I haven't.
I've only been to Rhode Island. Actually, I had been to Connecticut before.
You've been to Connecticut? Yeah. Rhode Island, Connecticut, I'd never been to. Massachusetts, I had as well. I went to Salem once before.
Yeah.
But I've never been to Maine. That was a new one for you.
Yeah. New Hampshire.
Never been to New Hampshire. Oh no, I had been to New Hampshire.
When you were young.
But I was too young to drink. I was with my family.
It doesn't count.
They wouldn't let me get a bottle cap for my map that I was a decade away from having at that point. So this beer is out of all of the bottle caps that I've acquired, I must say this one might be my favorite. I'm not gonna lie. This is a nice hearty. Did I mention that it's 9.5%? This Imperial Cloud IPA from Two Roads. So I'm gonna be sleeping good tonight. Now you just popped a pretty cool, fun beer. This one was a bit of a surprise. I guess beggars can't be choosers. I was really struggling to find a Rhode Island beer, but that one I was actually ended up being pretty pleased with.
Yeah, and I just realized why you gave me this one now, because you wanted me to try and pronounce this crazy name.
Oh no, actually that's not the reason why, but I forgot that's a bonus. That's just a bonus of it.
So this is the Narragansett. Andy, who can pronounce that properly gets a prize.
So I know that if you look at the bottle cap, look on the inside of the bottle cap, or maybe it's even on their label.
Yeah,
I think everybody just calls it a Gansett.
Oh yeah, a Gansett. Hi, it says, "Hi neighbor, have a Gansett."
Yeah, I think that's what everybody says. So cool thing about that bottle cap. I mean, again, I went to a couple. We were in Rhode Island pretty briefly.
Yeah,
only a couple days.
Yeah.
So not a lot of time, not a lot of beer selection when I was there. I went to two different stores. Both of them had that. I went to the first one. I was like, okay, well, I guess that's in my back pocket. Went to the next one, still nothing, but they had that. So I grabbed it. Pleasantly surprised. It's just a lager. I think what is the ABV? 5 point whatever, probably. Nothing too crazy. It's just a typical lager, just an easy drinker. We even met up with a guy. I think it was Jim up in Maine. He said that was the beer his dad, Jim's dad, and Jim was an older fella. But I remember Jim said that his dad would drink a 6-pack of Gansett every night for basically his entire life since he was 12 or something like that. He was drinking like a 12-pack, or excuse me, a 6-pack of Gansett.
It's impressive. Like all over the label, they have like since 1890. So it must be one of the oldest breweries. It says here, for over a century, our award-winning classic lager has been the beer of choice around here. If you're not drinking Narragansett, you're not from New England.
Well, there you go.
It's true.
We didn't even get to the best part. So the cool thing about these caps is sort of like I always equated it to and think about Mickey's, because I know that Mickey's, the bigger bottles, I guess what were they? They were like a 35 ounce or something. They would have like sort of a little riddle, like kind of you had to put the pictures together and it'd be a saying or something.
Yep.
So you have it in this. You already figured it out?
Well, this actually, we were talking about this earlier, just randomly. What was the jagged Greek letter?
Put it up. Go ahead and show it. If you're on Facebook Live or YouTube, she's going to show you the cap.
What was the jagged
That's,
E?
okay, well, there's two on there. So that's sigma and then pi.
Oh, so it's an I8
I8 a pi.
sigma pi.
Well, then it's not sigma. All right, maybe I'm looking at it wrong. I8.
Are you sure that's sigma? The E like that?
Let me look at this.
I
I'm
don't-
looking at another thing.
That's not sigma. I think that's something
I8.
all the
What
pie.
is that one?
I ate all the pie.
It's the one. Yeah, you're right. It's the one that looks kind of like an E. It's got to be like I8 a pi. A theta? Is that a theta? I8 a theta pi.
Right.
I8 a pi. I mean, I can't remember what that one is.
I ate. That's what we need to look that up, because then we'll have it. But that's funny. We just were talking about Greek letters earlier. But yeah, it was really unfortunate we didn't get to do too much in Rhode Island. We were there on like weekdays, only there for 2 nights in a campsite. So we really didn't get to see too much. Plus the weather was pretty bad. I remember it was storming.
There was a lot of rain.
Yeah, storming real hard at night. I don't even think we left the campsite. I think we'd been tired from all the traveling that we had been doing. We had to do some laundry. Oh, one of the worst things about being on the road, for sure.
It's sigma. I theta sigma pi. It's I8 a pi. I don't know.
It is sigma pi.
Was it an 8? And it was an 8, the number 8?
The number 8, yeah.
I8 sigma pi. I always thought, it's funny because I mean that was almost like an old joke. It was, oh yeah, were you in a did you rush? Were you in a fraternity? I was like, yeah, you know, I ate a pie. You know, that was just kind of a joke.
One of the other ones though was really good. It was was it pot, like a pot, and then it was 8 zeros with an S at the end, and it was potatoes.
That was the one that I actually put up on there because that was the one I liked the most. That was the actual cap that ended up on the map up there.
Potatoes.
Yeah, that one was pretty good. But yeah, it's just fun. And I don't know if they've been doing that for.
It is fun. I bet people collect them all.
Whatever,
yeah, for sure. Unfortunately, not my style. This definitely does.
You're not loving
like
the
beer.
lagers. You're not loving the lag. I mean, to me, honestly, a lager is almost the epitome of beer, which I know that quite oftentimes when we're drinking beer, I always make you try my beers, and more often than not, you make a face and go, too beery.
Too
I'm
beery
guessing
for
that
me.
one is the case with the Ganzette.
Do you know, I just reading this label more, and something I really like about it is like it's, you know, it says write or visit us at our office in Providence, Rhode Island.
It's got an address.
And it's got an address.
Oh, we should write them a note.
Write them a little thank you letter. Thank you for supplying a cap for our beer map.
I bet they would appreciate that.
I think they would too.
Yeah. So
very friendly.
So we do have some thank you letters because we're out here in the RV and we do stay at Boondockers, which is, I'm sure I've mentioned it once or twice. Basically, it's where essentially you're staying at someone else's, just another, you know, Tom, Joe, Melissa, Gertrude, a basically spot that you can post up and stay. And we always, you know, write them a thank you note. And if they provide power or water, you know, sometimes you want to throw them, you know, $5, $10, $15 or whatever, depending on how long you stay. So yeah, we do got quite a supply of thank you notes. I think we definitely could write them a little thank you for, I mean,
oh, thank you for the beer.
yeah, frankly. And again, it was out of all the beers that I had put up on the map, that one Not the highest of quality, but I do appreciate
that it was in a bottle and you got a cap, because that's one of the
absolutely.
smallest states. Like, I was even surprised that there was breweries bottling.
Believe it or not, that's a taller order than you would imagine to find a bottle cap that has, because a lot of the, you can potentially find a bottled beer of a brewery in there, but a lot of the times it's just a blank black bottle cap, and it doesn't have the brewery's name or anything remotely cool, or
because it's all an expense, like, to do that, even just a bottle.
Most people can these days. That's definitely the way that the industry is going, especially the more newer guys. But that's why it's a testament, and it makes more sense. They've been they've been on the block for well over a century, about a century and a half at this point. So that makes sense.
And they probably have the
bottles.
bottle making equipment, because I think it's such a big investment, like, like an upfront cost to buy bottling equipment, that a lot of newer breweries just would never go down that route.
Yeah. So I know we actually, that last segment, we ran a little bit long because I know you were really enjoying that brown ale. So we might actually be about ready to wrap this one up. So by the way, as I mentioned, we are on the road. This is our last Brewsday Tuesday from the road. I shall be back in the studio. I guess it's still up in the air on how, because to make it back by Friday and be in studio on Friday, it will be a haul. So I might not be there till next week. I don't know. We'll see. That's still remains to be seen. We're still trying to plan out the last little bit of this trip, but I will be back at least next week. So this is the last Brewsday Tuesday from the road. So first things first, I want to thank my lovely co-host BB for filling in for Nate. I know Nate probably is really fiending for some beer and probably jealous of all these shows, but don't worry, Nate. I got a lot of beer I'm bringing back. I don't even know how many shows worth in our future from this travels. So it's going to be, you'll be in good hands and taken care of. But I do appreciate you picking up the slack, and it's been a lot of fun doing the show with you. And
thank you so much. And I know I could never hold a candle to Nate, but I've enjoyed doing it with you too.
Well, except for this one, because I know that these usually all the other ones, it was beers that you liked, but now I'm forcing you to drink the bottled beers that I've had to get for my map. But really, it's, when you think about it, you're the one that gave me that map, so you're lying in your own bed. You should have thought of this when you got me that map 5 to 6 years ago or whatever it was.
It's the same when every time I'm waiting for you outside another beer store while you're looking for ball. So I'm like, I did this to myself.
You put me on this quest. Here we are. So how are you liking the lager? Let's be honest. You gotta write them a thank you note, and I'm sure they'll appreciate that more than a really overwhelming Untapped score. But just be honest.
It's so. I think for a lager, it probably tastes quite good.
Does it? Yeah. Does it taste like beer?
It tastes like beer. Yeah.
There we go.
There's the go. You
don't
tick in the box.
That's about a lot. That's a lager. There you go. I bet your dad would like that beer.
But yeah, it's like a nice color. It's quite refreshing, really. Actually, it's not offensive at all.
She doesn't like it. What's the
I've had more than one sip. I'm gonna give it a 3, more than half, but not much more.
Yeah, all right, that's fair. That's a fair score right there. Now, me, however, I'm spoiled rotten over here. Like I said, this is probably, out of this round for sure. I did have a couple other, beers to get the bottle caps all along the route, but man, this one was certainly a standout, man. Two Roads, Rocket to Ruin. It's the Imperial Cold IPA, 9.5%. Man, it's a goodie. I don't know if you can get it down in Virginia, but I think I got at least one more in my fridge. So I'll be bringing some with me. Hit me up if you're really dying for it. But the lacing is fantastic. Obviously, a very nice hearty ABV. It's tasty. It's delicious. This one's probably a 4.75. This is nice. A damn good beer. Although, really, in my mind, it's a 4.5 because I've just been so spoiled with all the Heady Topper and Alchemist beer that I've been having to sip on, Foundation and stuff in there. Been a lot of good breweries on this trip. There's so many good beer up in New England, especially if you're a big fan of the New England hazy IPA style that I am. But I can't recommend it enough. Get up here, go brewery hopping, and obviously if you can do it the way we have been, man, and the Bear V and an RV, it's fantastic. I know that perhaps our helpful sponsor, Johnson Family RV, they might be able to help you a little bit, perhaps. I don't know. Maybe not. Makadu's obviously another sponsor as well. And of course, BB, she's really been the gem of this trip and helping to keep it going. So thank you so much, Dawn. We'll take a quick break. We'll get back with the tunes. I think JT's taking over the range for the next little bit. So just tunes, if you will, coming up next, right here on 105.3 The Bear. Oh,